Hey guys, let's talk about all of the Christ-centered Easter books that we need to be reading to our children. All right guys, welcome back. I'm Laura Wilkie with Down Home with Lemon Pie. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, like and share our videos if you're finding them helpful. And I'm a Christian stay-at-home mom. I homeschool my kids. I have 6 kids, and my oldest 2 are 10 and 8. And then I have 2, those are girls. I have 2 boys that are 6 and 5, and I have twin toddlers, girl boys, that are 2 and a half. So today I'm just going to be talking to you guys about the books that we are using when we are learning about Easter. And these are the Christ-centered books. So these are the books that are going to give our children a better understanding of Jesus and his work on the cross, the resurrection, all of that. And they are going to bring your children closer to him so that they can learn more about it. So the first one I have for you guys is really for your youngest, okay? This is a board book. It's the story of Easter. This is actually part of a whole series. And you can find these. There's a Christmas one. I think there's a couple others, but it's very simple but straight to the point. So it's really good for your youngest little guys, and that's the one I'm going to recommend for the littlest ones. Okay, going up from there, I'm going to say this is a really good one. It's God Gave Us Easter. It's a huge favorite for us. This whole series, again, it's part of a series. This whole series is just beautiful, and it is not dumbed down, I guess. So even though it looks like it's really for the littlest of the little, it is done in such a great manner that your kids are going to still get so much out of it. So it has beautiful pictures like this. It's basically little cub, and he's just asking questions about Easter. Why is this? Why is that? And dad is helping him to understand all of the things so that he can know more about it. It's really cute and it's really well done, and I do recommend all of the ones in this series. Okay guys, this is one of the first Christ-centered Easter books I bought for my own children, and it is this one here. It's called The Very First Easter. It's by Paul Meyer. Okay, once again, it's linked below on my blog so you can easily find it. And this is a fantastic book, okay? I have it in paperback, but if you can find it in hardcover, it's one that you're going to want to keep for a while. So that would be a better option, I think, personally. But basically, you've got little Christopher, like Christian, get it? So you have little Christopher, he's sitting around with mom and dad, and he just starts asking some questions, wanting to understand, why do we do this? Why do we do that? This book, I will tell you, is not going to be for a real young, I mean, it's perfect for a young audience, but the attention span may not be able to handle it. As you can see, it's very wordy, and it does back it up with biblical truth, like with verses and references, so you can go and find that. But it's more probably for a little bit older kids. The pictures are really good, but probably maybe for older kids as far as when they're interested in this and for their attention span, like I said. But it's still super, super great. I love this one so much. The same time I bought that one, I bought this one. It's called The First Easter. So we have The Very First. This is The First by Carol Heyer. It's a beautiful, beautifully done book. It's the same kind of thing, but just a little bit less wordy. This one is not a child talking to his family and asking questions. This is just talking about the story itself, like you will find in the Bible. It just pretty much goes through the whole thing. It has Jesus's life, what he did, and then all the way down to his death. But I liked this one. This is actually the one that the kids were drawn to when they were younger. So when they were really little, they were okay with this one. That was the one they liked. But now that they're a little bigger, this one is more fun. Okay, if you're not familiar with the Legends books, there's a whole series for Easter and a whole series for Christmas. You can get them, there's 3 here, and you can get them in one collection. And that is the way I would recommend because of cost cost benefits there, but you can get them all in one book. It's called, I think it's called the Easter Treasury or Legends Treasury, something like that. You can find it if you search any of these titles. I'm sure it will come up. But the first one is the legend of the Easter egg. They all kind of take and draw those parallels to the Easter story that you find in the Bible. So this one has the little girl, there's a little girl and little boy, and the little girl gets sick, and the boy learns about the redemption. He also draws parallels to, like, one of my favorite parallels in this book is this one here. It's talking about we go on an Easter egg hunt, and we're hunting for eggs just like they were hunting for Jesus after he died and they saw that the tomb was empty. So it kind of draws those parallels, which is really cool, because I know a lot of times, especially in our home, the kids are like, why are we looking for eggs if we're supposed to be celebrating that Jesus, like, you know, like, how does that all come together? And that's what I love about most of these books. They bring those two things together in one so beautifully that you don't really have to worry too much about it. This one's probably my favorite, okay? The Legend of the Sand Dollars. I love this one. It sounds like it's like a summer book, right? So for a long time, I didn't read this because I thought it was for summer, but it's actually an Easter story, and it takes comparisons with the sand dollar, you know, the sand dollar, and brings it around to Jesus, and I love that. Here it's talking about the holes in the sand dollar, like the holes when they nailed him to the cross. It's just so good, guys. It's so good. Beautifully done, beautifully done. So if you don't have this one, check that out. Like I said, you can get these in that collection. The other one is the story of the Easter Robin. I grabbed this from the library, but it's actually it has a new cover, so it looks different now. But this is the older cover. Same kind of deal. It's drawing parallels from the Robin and the biblical story of Easter. I just love when the kids have things like that that they can directly relate. So anyways, it's so, so cute. Okay, those of you who are like into composers and music, that kind of stuff, are going to love this one. It is Easter Parade, and it's Irving Berlin, the composer, and it's his song, Easter Parade. It's definitely not going to be, I know I said these were all Christ-centered, okay? This one is not Christ-centered, but it is definitely one that's going to be like an old-fashioned family favorite, and it's perfect for spring. So maybe not even just Easter, but it takes the song, and it just has the cute, like, how cute are these bunnies, guys? Seriously, with their big hats. I mean, come on. It's just so sweet. But it just takes the song. It's just talking about they're going out and going on a little Easter adventure, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so if you're doing like Charlotte Mason, you're studying composers, here you go. You have a composer for Easter. Okay, The Tale of the Three Trees. This is one that my daughter actually heard at church one year, and she said, we have to buy this book. She came home talking about it. She still talks about it. She loves it. It's basically three trees, and it's the story of their lives. Like, the trees each want to have an important job. They want to have something that they are completing in their life. And they don't feel like they have a job, I guess. One becomes, they don't feel, well, one of them doesn't feel like it has an important enough job, I guess is really what it is. But one, look at these illustrations. One becomes a feeding trough, and later a bed for a king. I'm sure you see the parallels. One becomes a fishing boat. And the last one just doesn't know what he's going to be. He doesn't like that he's been cut up into these pieces like this, and they don't know what, he doesn't know, why is this important? Oh, I'm not standing up to God. I'm not pointing to God. Oh no, oh, look what I became. So I love this story. It does go through the whole life of Jesus, and it is it's like another parable with the trees. It's just so good. I love how kids can learn that way, and honestly, adults learn that way too. So, okay guys, the next one I have is Peter's First Easter. Okay, so this one's a little bit wordy also, but still highly recommended. It is basically the very first Easter when they arose and found the tomb empty, from Peter's point of view. Okay, so like from the Bible, it is, like I said, it's kind of wordy. It's got little chapters, so you could divide this up and do it as like a read aloud for the family. But so good, guys. Kind of takes the Bible and just gives it to you in another way, where you have that story kind of more in a eyewitness type story. So there's that, Peter's first Easter. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but we love the Bernstein Bears and the Living Lights collection. You always know it's the Living Lights when it has that up there. Usually, those are my favorite. They are the ones that are going to be your faith-based ones. They're going to be the ones that are referencing God and Jesus and those kinds of things. And this one is Easter Sunday. What I really love about this one, because there is another one that I recommend in that list that is below in the description of this video, and it's Easter Story. And that one, there's several of them actually by the Bernstein Bears that reference Easter, but this one I really like because the family goes to church like you would, they come home, and then it talks about whether or not it is okay, or whether or not it is still loving Jesus if you participate in an egg hunt. And it is so good. It shows that, you know, not necessarily if you're participating in the egg hunts, that does not mean that you do not love Jesus. Okay, so here's one of the examples. Does that mean we shouldn't have Easter eggs, chocolate bunnies, and candy on Easter? And it says, well, some people do believe that, but others think that as long as you remember that Easter eggs and bunnies and candy don't really have anything to do with Jesus and Easter, then it's okay. So I think this is a good one. It helps to kind of, in children's eyes especially, bring those two together so that you can understand, okay, are we doing something wrong by doing these things, or are we making sure that we're putting Jesus first? So that's Easter Sunday. Okay, the whole collection of Beatrix Potter's tales, the Peter Rabbit tales, I'm going to recommend. Again, they're not really going to be your Christ-centered books, but they are so perfect for this time of year, guys. And on top of that, I'm going to add the true story of Peter Rabbit. This is a fascinating story about Beatrix Potter and why and how she created the character of Peter Rabbit and what that looked like as it unfolded and became real. The illustrations, I mean, really, can you get better than that? It's beautiful. But basically, she has correspondence with this young boy and writes him letters telling him these stories, and later the stories became, or the letters became stories, actual stories. And so, anyways, it's just so cute, so cute. It's perfect for this time of year. If you're doing a Peter Rabbit study, I'm going to recommend this. Okay, guys, super old-fashioned book. This is from the 50s. It's The Egg Tree. You've got the Caldecott medal because, of course, it's wonderful. This is one of those books that has very few colors on the pages. I just love this one. It is so cute. It's kind of makes me feel like this is how I want to be as a grandparent. So basically, you've got all the grandkids. They come to Grandma's house for this big egg hunt and around her farmhouse, and they're hunting the eggs. Look how cute. Their little hats. And they're hunting the eggs, and they find some in a box in the attic, and she pulls them out, and it turns out these are a bunch of beautifully painted eggs that Grandma did, and she forgot that she had kept them and that they were up there. And the children get curious. They learn about the art of painting eggs. They all want to create their own, and it's just beautiful. It's a total old-fashioned classic feel, like true vintage vibe here, guys. So anyways, that's The Egg Tree. Okay, So this next one, with all of this talk about Jesus died on the cross and then he rose again, and he died on the cross and he rose again, we just keep telling our kids this. Why not give them another hope, which is Jesus is coming back? Let's talk about Revelations. Why not? So I love this story. We were actually gifted this one, and it is a true treasure. So this one actually does back everything up with scripture. It's got the references there, and it just gives children that reassurance that things that are going on in this world don't so much matter, because he's coming back and we're going to a better world. The illustrations are really good for pretty much any age, but the story itself, like the message, is super, super good. And I just think it's a good one to have in your collection and to read at this time of year. Okay. Again, it's mostly just spring, guys, but you can't have Easter and not talk about the ducks. Come on. So these are the baby ducks. It's, again, a classic. I'm sure you know about Robert McCloskey's stories. They are not new. Let's see. 1941, you've got this one, Make Way for Ducklings. Guys, this is a beautiful story. It's so fun. This is back when people wrote stories that had depth and weren't just flip-flopped through, right? So this one, it's a little longer. It's got those longer attention spans. The pictures are wonderful. They're so fun. But basically, Mother Duck is trying to get her ducklings to the pond at Boston Park, and it's just them going through the city and traveling along. It's just a fun addition, so that's why I'm showing you this one in the video. And the absolute last one I have for us is Madeline at the White House. It's, again, more of just a secular Easter book, but if you are into Madeline, if you're studying France or you're into this theme, check this one out. I did not realize, but this one is the Easter story for that series, and basically they go to a party at the White House during Easter, and they participate in the Easter celebration. So that's pretty much the whole story, just what happens to them while they're there. All right, guys, I have a ton more Christ-centered books on my blog on the list. So go below here in the description of this video, click the link, and you will find the whole list of mostly Christ-centered books. There's a few secular, like I said here, but the whole list with links so you can get all of that. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.